Okay, two things. You know that big thing where everybody's going, oh my god, I get abducted at night by government people, and I go do stuff, and whatever, and then we do sexual things. Why do you all guys always have to put sex into it? Okay, there's more to life than sex. I know that some of you probably feel differently about that, but if there wasn't more to life than sex, then we wouldn't have houses, cars, planes, trains, and automobiles, because people would have to stop having sex long enough to build them, you see. There's more to life than sex. That being said, I can verify. I can. I mean, you don't believe me. I know you don't believe me. Nobody's going to believe me. Okay, fine, whatever. Don't believe me. But yes, I too got abducted in the middle of the night. Blah, blah, blah. And I knew it. I knew it before I even got it. And what happened is I had saved up my money, and I managed to make it to a hypnotherapist to try to start cracking what's in my head, remembering what's going on, because it would be nice, because I'm not against it completely, not because, you know, everybody tells me I should be against it or not against it, but because I don't know what's going on. If I don't know what's going on, I don't want to jump to conclusions, because that's what you should do. So I got to the hypnotherapist, and the session was a nightmare. I probably would not recommend that man to anybody, and I'll discuss that session another time. But the nice, wonderful side effect is I got what I wanted. So when I left the hypnotherapist, I had to go to a convention to make an appearance. So I get to the hotel, I check in, I go to bed. I wake up at like 2, 3 in the morning, which, by the way, is average for someone in this situation. You wake up afterwards. I don't know why they just don't put out the command, all right, you're going into your house now. You will stay asleep. You will not come out of your hypnosis. You will not come out of it feeling refreshed. You will stay asleep and wake up on the time you're supposed to wake up feeling refreshed. I don't know why they don't bother with that. That's so stupid. But I woke up and I was in pain right here, which there's nothing there, incidentally. I don't know, it don't matter. There is nothing there, it just, you know, but at the time there was this big lump, and it hurt. But you put your hand there and you're feeling this lump, and you're like, why is it hurting? It feels like I've been operated on. Now, this lump was there for most of my childhood, and then it disappeared. And I took it for granted. I had no idea that that's the place where they used to put some of the first, second, and third generation implants. I had no idea. By the time it happened again, though, at that convention, this was just a couple of years ago, I knew then, oh crap, they re-implanted me. Why would they do that? You know, I wasn't going to try to stop the program. I was going to try to understand what's going on with me. But, so, yes. That happened. It was not fun. It was painful. And then afterwards, it got later removed, and then I had it in this finger for a while. So I was able to shoot you an implant bird. And it was there, and it looked like almost like a pencil. Like I jabbed myself with a pencil, and the lead stayed there, and I'd try to get it out, and it would move. Like you try to get it out, and it would move deeper. It would move up. It was not going to let me get it out. So, I was trying to get it out, and I was determined. I was thinking to myself, if I could get some topical anesthesia, I would just remove it myself, because, you know, unlike all of those other people that the UFO researchers actually spend time on, I don't have a lot of money to be paying them for that kind of stuff, and so they can write their books about me. You know, if you want to write a book about me, that's fine, but, you know, whatever. You know, most people don't, and they get to know the deep stuff I know. In fact, I had one lady burst into tears and break contact. That's beside the point. So I'm sitting at my desk, I'm working, and I'm picking at this implant. It's driving me crazy, and I took photos, and I sent it to this newfound guy I was in contact with that turned out to be a total idiot. And next thing I know, I'm just kind of sitting, staring blankly at the wall, coming out of it, and I'm like, what just happened? And it was like I couldn't remember the past hour, and the implant was gone. So, I mean, I got that. But the most amazing incident, the most amazing, fantastical incident that makes what happens in my life interesting to ponder on occasion happened while my husband was deployed. He was deployed to Afghanistan, and we were having a very hard time because he unfortunately was stationed at craptastic Fort Caroline. Fort Caroline, and we were suffering a lot of abuse from a caustic leader, and I swear to you I was getting provoked on purpose, because you see, when I get provoked, I forget that I don't have superpowers, yay, and I'll do things like have visions and stuff, and I get really pissed, you know, and So I was having a lot of visions, and I would tell him, all right, this is going to happen tomorrow, and sure enough, the base would get attacked or whatever. I knew, you know. So I'm pretty, I was pretty sure by that point that I was getting, visited frequently by my handlers. So I had paid money to go to the ufologist, went to the con, came back with an implant, and but also came back with a better confidence and awareness of myself. So I'm laying in bed. Now I have this thing where sometimes I'll just lay in bed and be like in that in between dream state that they need you to be in so much to get you to click over. Just because, I've been doing it for so many years. I guess, I don't know, who knows, whatever. Your weird theory is just as good as mine. And I'm laying there, and then all of a sudden I heard this song, and it was a Disney song. Now, the interesting thing about the Disney song is it was playing in my head, but in such a way that I thought it was external. And I remember actually analyzing to myself, what is that song? I know that song, and I can't remember what it is now. I think it was from Cinderella, but it was not one of the major songs that we think of, the love songs. I think it was Cinderella, Cinderella. I'm not sure. Or was it Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo? It was one of those. But I remember it went through, and it played, and I knew it, and automatically I started going along with the lyrics that were in my head, even though the song didn't have the lyrics. It was just a MIDI file. And by about the end of it, I thought to myself, it's a shame the song never hit the pop charts. And when I thought that, boom, I was someone else. I got up out of bed, and I walked to my bedroom door, prepared and ready. I was on mission. I was going. And there were these two gentlemen standing at my bedroom door. They were wearing military dress blues. I cannot say that they were Army. I don't think they were. I think they looked a lot more Navy. After I came out of it the next day and remembered, I started doing a lot of research, and where I had never paid attention to dress blues before, I really started paying attention, and I think they were naval. And I come to the door, and I'm a person who barks orders, apparently. Not that I didn't already, but I'm really barking. I was like, all right, let's go. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's go. And they're like, all right. And they stood there a second, and I was like, well, let's go. I can walk myself out. You don't need to take me. I will walk myself out, because apparently the routine was they would walk me out somehow. And I didn't want to. I wanted to go under my own power. And then I'm looking at these guys, and I'm perceiving their faces as zombie faces. Now, when I was growing up, I used to have a lot of zombie nightmares. Interestingly enough, I never saw any of the Awakening Dead or the Living Dead movies. I saw one in the mall, bits and pieces of it, and couldn't finish watching it because it was just like all of my nightmares to the T all of my life, and there was no way. Now I know that when you're in the program being trained, the seek and hunt exercises are like that, and it is my theory I always perceive my hunters as zombies. But we'll cover that aspect of training another time. And so I'm perceiving this guy, and I made a mistake. And I knew I shouldn't do it, but I couldn't help it. It was automatic. I saw the zombie. I blinked, trying to clear my sight to see him for real. I should not have done that. If you ever get in this position where you are aware enough to go on your mission with your handlers and come back remembering everything you've done, don't blink! Don't do it! Don't do anything! Don't perceive anything as out of place, because if you do, they're going to know, because that man said, you're aware. And I said, it don't matter whether I'm aware or not. I am willing to go on this mission. I am ready to go. Let's go. I want to go to work. Which, by the way, my officers call it work. And the other fellow, who I knew was a zombie but wasn't really caring, I guess he was second in command because he wasn't as important to me, stepped around, because the way we were he was on my left side of my door here, and the other guy was kind of behind here. He walked around and walked behind me, and I said, don't you dare tamper with me. I've worked hard to get this far. And everything goes black. Woke up the next morning with a big wound right there, and I still have a scar. And I learned later that sometimes in situations, not necessarily with the Black Ops or anything, that if they want to give you an instruction that you will act on but don't want you to remember getting the instruction, they'll take a taser and hit you in the middle back there, and that makes you go unconscious and you don't remember the last couple of seconds. Lucky for me, I had been aware longer, so I was able to remember some. I don't know if I tried to fight the guy off or what happened. It would be nice to think that I did, because that would, tell me I had some fight in me. But yes, this was a wide awake experience that I experienced, that UFO researchers have been blowing off for years because for some odd reason discussing butterflies and the McCulture program and the other programs that have come out of it has become taboo. And if you're some sort of researcher, for some reason, this very large aspect of what is going on with people in America gets completely blown off and ignored. And if you start going into it, you're going to get blown off and ignored. And the people who do go into it are trying to cash in on it. And it's sad because this is a very serious thing. Now, I have mixed feelings about the McCulture thing. There are people out there that really get furious with me because I'm not railing, I want my life back, how dare you treat me like a slave? Because the truth is, I don't know. I don't know what's going on the other side, and I refuse to jump to conclusions. You know, the whole innocent until proven guilty thing kind of applies here as well. I know that when I was younger, I used to really want to be part of something that was going on, and I used to beg for it. I know that as I got older, I was choosing for other things, and whenever I was going to go into the military, I got scared out of it, that it followed me. I know that being military has haunted me my whole life, even though I never formally joined the military. Little things like one day when I was working in Jersey City at this place, the other ladies were making fun of me because I never hardly left my desk, and I automatically said, well, I can't leave my post. And they told me, this isn't the Army, you're crazy. They really genuinely said this isn't the Army, and I realized that I talked like an Army person, and that set me apart from them. But I'm not claiming to be some soldier. I'm claiming what I have seen. And I can't tell you anything more than I came out of that bed, someone who is used to authority, someone who is used to barking what they wanted, someone who's used to getting what they wanted, someone who was very loyal and very determined to do what they needed to do. There are other events that I remember. Currently we're at we were at Fort Polk. When we first got to Fort Polk, some things happened, but that's for another day. Just saying, I can verify this personally. This does happen to some people. I am a nobody. I am not Lady Gaga. I am not a super famous star. I am an average person. Do you know what I do for a living? I format ebooks and draw art. I write comic books and novels. But I am not famous. Hardly anybody has heard of me, and my stuff isn't even very good. But yet, this fantastical thing happened to me. I could play it down, I could call it boring, but for me, it says that yes, this shit happens. And all I want right now is to understand my role and remember, because that's an entire life. That's 40 years of living that I don't remember. And if I did one thing, I did another. It doesn't matter that maybe I thought I was in a spaceship 10 years ago and something happened and maybe it wasn't real and it was a fake exercise. That doesn't matter. What matters is I was doing something and I really want to remember what it is. And I feel that it is my right to know what I have done. That the need to know thing only goes so far. I have a need to know because I have the right to live. And that is my input for the day.